My name is Alek. We are here to talk about my worst date. Worst first date story. Well, this was probably 2014, somewhere around there. So it's been a while, like 5 or 6 years. Like, we went on this huge group date. There's like some friends wanted to go on a big date. We went up to Lagoon, local like amusement park. And it's pretty pricey. I think it's like at least $50 a ticket, right? And I didn't want to like take someone I didn't know, because that's like a awkward first date. You know, if you don't know them, you're like, hey, I'm gonna spend like $100. Do you want to come with me? Like, you know, they might feel pressure and things like that. And so, as you can imagine, I wanted to find someone that was comfortable, that I was comfortable around, that would be totally cool with it. And so I decided to ask a friend of mine. We went to high school together. We knew each other for a while. We were friends. I hung out with them a lot. I knew her family, you know, all this stuff. So we just had a good time together, and we're good friends. And so I was like, I'm gonna ask her on a date. I asked this girl on a date, and she's constantly complaining. And as I'm sure you can imagine, that's always awkward when you're in that situation and a girl is on your date, that you're asked to go on a date with you, is like complaining about things. Like, she was complaining about like how the roller coasters weren't as good as others she's been on, and like how it was really hot, like the weather. Like, I was like, I don't have control over this. Like this. But yeah, so it was awkward to begin with. I already spent like a lot of money on her to get into the park, and like with lunch and everything. And then she all of a sudden, like, this has been a few hours, like kind of this is going on, and I'm like a pretty easygoing, laid back person naturally, so I didn't really think too much of it. But after like a few hours of this, she just disappeared. Like, we're in the park, and she's gone, and I'm with a bunch of my friends, and they all have dates, and I'm the only one without my date, and we have no idea where she went. She disappeared for hours. And so I'm just by myself darkness, my old friend. In this park this entire time. And that was crazy. And I don't know if you've ever been a third wheel or something. This was like a 15th wheel. And one of my friends was there with my ex. My ex. So that was a little weird too. And so yeah, that's what happened, essentially. But while we're in the park, like, a bunch of other things started happening. Like, for example, we get on this roller coaster. We're in line for the roller coaster. And you know, at roller coasters, like at the front, like the workers ask you, it's like, any single riders? So I just like raise my hand. I get on the roller coaster. I look up at my friends, and they're all just pity in their faces, like looking at me like, I'm so sorry, kind of a thing. And it was great. I had a good time, went on the roller coaster and got off of it. And then someone on that ride lost her purse. And so I was at the bottom of the roller coaster, and all of my friends were still up at the top for like 20 minutes because they're trying to find this girl's purse. So I just sat there. Hello, darkness, and so basically, yeah, I was just the 15th wheel the entire time, went on a bunch of rides as the single rider. And that was my worst first date. I'm gonna give you some advice. Just enjoy it, just have fun with it, and don't take anything too personally or too seriously, because otherwise especially after the first date, you know, even if you spend $100 on this girl and it doesn't work out, you know, just have fun with it, because it might turn out into a good story. Or, as like my friend Chase likes to say, you're spending money on another man's wife. In that case, you know, I got nothing to say. Like, as I said that Chase thing, I was like, that doesn't apply to anything I was saying.